When I think about the future of digital transformation, there's an old story that I find very helpful, and it's a story about the inventor of the game of chess. The legend goes that the inventor took his creation to the Emperor of India and showed him the game. And the emperor was so impressed by the beauty and elegance of the game of chess that he said, "You can name your own reward. Majesty, I'm a humble man. All I want is a pile of rice. Put 1 grain of rice on the first square of this chessboard. Double that, put 2 grains of rice on the second square. Double that, continue on. And when we've got 64 squares full of rice, just give me that quantity of rice." And the emperor says, "You really are a humble man. Make it so." Now, those of us who have had a little bit of math realize how much trouble the emperor is in, because that constant doubling adds up over time and it reaches numbers that absolutely stagger the imagination. After 32 squares, there are a few billion grains of rice, which is a lot, but that's about as much as you would get from harvesting 1 large field. It's only when you get in the second half of the chessboard that things get really, really strange. So by the time they've covered 64 squares of the chessboard, there's a pile of rice bigger than Mount Everest, and it's more rice than has been produced by all of humanity in the entire history of the world. When the emperor realizes how badly he's been tricked by the inventor, he has the guy beheaded. He cuts off his head. So we did some quick calculations. The United States started tracking information technology as a category of corporate investment in about 1958. And if you take the normal doubling period of Moore's law as 18 months, you take 32 of those doubling periods and you add that to 1958, it turns out that we entered the second half of the chessboard when it comes to digital technology in about 2006. So since 2006, we've seen the explosion of social media. We've seen the arrival of smartphones and tablets. We've seen computers that can now drive cars. We've seen humanoid robots in factories. We have seen a computer be the world champion in the quiz show Jeopardy! All these things have happened since 2006. So to me, that means that we are in some new phase. Maybe we have just started the second half of the chessboard when it comes to the power and the impact of digital technologies. And if what I've just said is true, if there's any truth to it, there's one conclusion, and that conclusion is we haven't seen anything yet. And I firmly believe that the digital innovations that are going to come and that are going to affect the business world are going to be absolutely transformative in the not too distant future. If that's the case, the only smart strategy at the top of the enterprise is, again, to embrace and to start leading the digital transformation for your company.
Capgemini Consulting. Transform to the power of digital.